Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. I'm making up a new Sunday song. Because I was about to do the Monday, Monday song, only with Sunday, Sunday, and figured that's probably there's some copyright issues with that. Good afternoon, my friends. 2 o'clock. We're like right on time. That doesn't happen very often, does it? Rythmia is live now. Join Meg for her latest live stream. It's a secret. I don't know who comes up with these titles. I do.
Sushi.
But we are live, and it's common knowledge. We are live talking about sushi here at Rythmia. Amazing. Here we are. Woo, water's boiling over. Ah! Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, my friends, because my ingredient that we have right there is ready. And what I've done there, what I've got there is some tomato. I'm not even gonna tell you what we're making yet. But I have 2 organic tomatoes in boiling water. They've been in there for about 5 minutes. And I want them in there just long enough so that the skin peels off. Can you see that? The skin is starting to peel off all on its own. So what I've got here is a little bowl of ice. I'm just gonna remove my tomatoes and dump them into this. Oh, this one, oh yeah, it's coming off there too. So I'm gonna put both these tomatoes in here, and we're gonna talk about that again in a minute. Oh my God, this is like real cooking. No messing around here. Real time. So this is what we call an ice bath in the culinary world. We have taken our tomatoes out of the boiling water and plunged them into this ice cold bath of, you got that right, ice and water. Ice bath, ice and water, ice bath. Kind of like what Wim Hof recommends, ice baths, jumping into cold water. We've just done it to our tomatoes. Because this is gonna be the main ingredient in one of our vegan sushis. Okay, let's see who's watching. Stacy Lynn is watching. Stasia, I got it right. Raquel is watching. Kelly's saying hello. Carrie's saying hello. Jacques is watching. Amazing. Raquel is saying hello. Kenneth.
Hi,
Kenneth,
Raquel.
say hello.
Hello, how are you?
Give a little thumbs up. Okay, so by the way, my friends, if you are friends with me on my personal Facebook page, I did a live about an hour ago. How's my apron look, Kenneth?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Same like you.
You're so sweet. I just did a live over my personal Facebook page about an hour ago, where I showed the pool area. If you want to show the pool area right now, Kenneth, it is pretty tranquilo, as we say in Spanish. Very, very quiet. I mean, it's always peaceful here at Rythmia, especially peaceful this afternoon. As you can hear, no voices, no laughter, just Kenneth and I. It's just me, Kenneth, and my iPhone this afternoon, because Rythmia is taking a little bit of a vacation. We're taking a bit of a break. We just saw the last few of our guests for the past week check out, and we are closing for 5 days. We're taking a little break-a-rooney. So there's no guests that have arrived today. It's just, you know, we're just wrapping up things so that we can close down for 5 days. Many of our resident staff, our holistic team are traveling, going on little vacation, little trips, little mini sojourns. I'm gonna be going to Canada. I leave on Tuesday. So you'll be seeing my Facebook live from Toronto next Sunday. So I'm very excited about that, but it's super chill. But we're still doing our live. So we're still here. I've been hanging out all day waiting for this 2 p.m. Costa Rica time live. And we're gonna talk about plant-based sushi, because let's face it, it's a fun idea and it's a beautiful treat. And to be fair and honest, the only reason I'm doing this is because Kenneth wanted sushi for lunch.
Yes. I'm super hungry, by the way.
And he's super hungry, by the way. And whatever I make on my Sunday lives is Kenneth's lunch. So Jamie's watching, Magdalena's watching, Sandra's watching, and saying, oh, I love you too, Sandra Pascal. I missed you. When are you coming back to see us, young lady? Daniel's saying, do you need special meat? Well, we're not using any meat. We're doing all plant-based. So let's get cooking, shall we? So in my ice bath, we might as well do this one first. Look at this. I'm not organized. Can we just have a look over here at the beauty that is all of these ingredients before we get making a mess of them? Look at this rainbow of vegetables. So many guests that leave Rythmia ask me what's my tip for how they should eat when they leave, and I just say, eat the rainbow and be really conscious about why you're eating certain things, you know? But this is just so pretty, so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to set some of this stuff off to the side here, and let's get rocking and rolling with our tomatoes. So we're making, and you might have seen this, this was really big on the internet last year. We're going to make spicy tuna rolls with tomato as our replacement. So look at this. I might have cooked this a little bit too long, but pura vida. So I'm just peeling the skin off of my tomato here, and it comes off really easy when you toss it in hot water like that. That's why we do it. This is really, because you know I'm a chef and everything, so we're going to talk about how we prepare tomatoes concassé, which is a culinary term, which means without the peel essentially, or the seeds. So what I've done here is I've got this one beautiful organic tomato, and I'm going to take my knife, and I'm just going to slice it, and I'm going to slice it into 4. And then all I want to do is also, I've removed the outside, and I want to remove the seeds. So this is the rest of these little seeds out. I'm just going to dock them in my sink. So end up with this beautiful seedless, awesome tomato. And they're still a little bit warm, so I'm just going to toss those pieces back in my ice bath for a minute. This might have gone a little bit too far. Plunging them into boiling water for 5 minutes probably would have been suffice, but I did a little bit longer. Grab my other one. And this one's a little bit more firm. Depends on the ripeness of your tomato too, how mushy they're going to be after all of this abuse. Da, da, da. So this is going to be the actual meat of our tunaless tuna roll. And then we're just going to be making a marinade for this and then stuffing them into our sushi rolls. It's going to be quite delicious if you ask me. I haven't made this in ages, so I'm very excited about it. I'm just going to use my knife to help scrape out some of these seeds. Multitasking tool these knives are. And then I'm going to rinse my hands. These are not step by steps. You don't rinse hands. Step number 4. Okay. Clean that up a little bit. Beautiful. Oh, why did I just clean that? I'm gonna continue chopping. You know what we're gonna do first though? Is we're going to make our marinade. I'm kind of chaotic, aren't I? You guys following? Just getting right into it. I never just get right into the recipes. Levi Moody's watching. Who's Levi Moody? Raquel Seed saying, I've always wanted to learn how to make vegan sushi. Sassia saying, you're the second person that's going to Canada. Happy holidays. Yeah, a lot of us. Mirka's watching from Finland. Beautiful rainbow veggie spread. Yes. What kind are your favorite knives? Brand, please, Sandra. There are, I mean, right now, to be honest, Sandra, I'm just using these Master Chef knives that we buy here from a kitchen supply store in Costa Rica, and we have to replace them like every month because we chop so much. We chop so much. We chop all the things here at Rythmia. And this pot's getting a little bit hot, so I'm gonna put some water in there. Keep the pan hot, but we're not gonna let it burn. Oh, but now that water's gonna make a ruckus. Okay. Holy, focus. I'm already on vacation mode, I think. Okay, so we've got our tomato ready to slice. Let's make a marinade, shall we? And this is for our spicy tuna rolls. So for the marinade, it's super really easy. Super really easy. It's super really easy. First ingredient that I'm adding here is hot sauce, sriracha. You could use any sort of Asian chili paste that you have on hand. I'm using sriracha, and that's going to be my heat component of this delicious dish. The next thing I'm going to add is clove of garlic. This is just traditional Asian flavor, and I'm just going to use my microplane. You've seen me do this a million times if you watch. My microplane, my rasp, my ode to hating to actually chop things by hand. I use this for things like garlic and ginger. So we're gonna grate a little bit of ginger in here as well. We're just trying to, we want to infuse some Asian flavor into this tuna. So the next Asian flavor we're gonna add in is a sesame oil. That's a lot. If you work with sesame oil a lot, you know that it is super, super potent, so I'm not gonna use all of that. A little bit of soy sauce. Be the base of our marinade. You could use namashoyu, which is typically a more raw version. You could use tamari, or you could just use a gluten-free soy sauce if you're worried about that stuff. Then the last ingredient is what I'm using today is nori that I have powdered into a powder form. You could use kelp granules or oh my goodness, what's the one that I usually always buy to use in my chickpea salad? Having a lot of memory issues today. Help me out here, guys. It comes, Dulse flakes. Dulse flakes would be really good, but I'm just using nori here, and that's just gonna help lend the flavor of the sea to our marinade. So look at that, delicious. This would be a great marinade for tofu, fish, chicken wings, you name it. Really just lovely, sweet and spicy, a little bit of sweetness from the ginger. You could add, but that's our marinade here. Now, super chilled pieces of tomato, tuna, tuna, tomato, tuna. I'm just gonna put it over some paper towel here. If I had a clean kitchen towel, I would use that rather than wasting these paper towels, but we'll go back into the earth. Just because, as with any marinade, you don't want to be putting in super wet ingredients, because that excess moisture in the ingredient, aka the tomato or the tofu or whatever you're marinating, that's going to limit the amount of flavor from the marinade that it can absorb. So you want to get rid of some of that excess water. If you're done, yum yum. And then we're just going to dice this up into any kind of slice dice that you would see your tuna in your tuna rolls. And we're going to be putting this inside a maki roll today. I'm just dicing it. Some of these pieces are super soft, so they're kind of just disintegrating. So we're going to be gentle. Gentle. Wow, have I ever gotten into the recipe this quickly? Ever? Kind of? No, I'm usually always talking. Well, maybe subconsciously, I'm not gonna lie. I had a guest here this week at Rythmia who shared with me, and you guys can maybe pipe in with your opinions, that she gets kind of annoyed when she watches my Facebook Lives because I'm always telling stories and making jokes and always checking the Facebook and interacting with people, and really all she wants is the recipe. So I have to, God bless her, she was so sweet. She's like, I really like the recipes you do. She's like, I could do without all the other blah, blah, blah. And she really hates when I do this. Let's see what's going on Facebook. Which I explained to her, that's kind of the idea with these Facebook Lives, is the interaction. That's a big component of it. So maybe you guys let me know what you think, if you'd rather me just do the recipes and not.
Social is the key, one gets a...
Social is the key? Yeah, social media, exactly. Whoops, I just lost my comments. Oh, there we go, there we go. Wow, there's lots of comments here, guys. Sorry, I didn't see them all. Let's take a minute to look at them, shall we? Raquel says I'm awesome. That's great. Daniel's saying a bit. I don't know what that is. I'm not paying attention. There's too many comments. Sandra Raquel saying, ever since I've been okay, base my knives are super weak. I'm looking for some awesome sharp knives. Yeah, I can send you some recommendations of some of my actual favorite knives offline, Sandra, if you want to send me a message or an email. Daniel says he loves my dream catcher tat. My dear friend Matthew made that. Levi Moody, if you're watching, at Drifters Ink Tattoo Parlor here in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. Sandra says yum. Levi says looking sushi. And here I am. I'm not actually cooking anymore. I'm just talking. Beautiful blouse, says Raquel. You guys are just full of compliments today. What else do you have to say? Just kidding. Raquel says she loves my stories. Sandra wants to interact. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay, and Raquel loves my stories. I love that. Okay, great. And Sandra says, we are so far away and we are family now, so I definitely want to interact with you. And Denise says, she loves the way I interact. You're hilarious. Okay, great. So the consensus is keep doing what I'm doing. I am thinking that I want to make a recipe only like cooking series of videos, and I've talked to Jerry about that. I don't know if it'll be Rythmia affiliated, maybe as part of the Rythmia aftercare program or what, but that's part of my plan, because I think it's a tool that really needs to be out there, is an offering for just the food and the recipes and not all of the extra. All my extra blah blah blah. Okay, back to the recipe, shall we? So we've got our chopped tuna in here, and I'm just mixing it into that delicious marinade. Does that look like tuna? Like it looks like I could just make a poke bowl with this. If you're not familiar with
tuna tartare,
we can do a poke Facebook Live on all different versions of poke bowls, which is a Hawaiian rice dish. But yeah, it does look like tuna tartare. Okay, so that is done, and we're just gonna let that sit over here and marinate for a time. So that is our quote-unquote fish filling for one version of our sushi. Beverage break. Fresh coconut water here at Rythmia. Oh, good God. I've been very tired this past week. My brain is not functioning. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is another filling. And typically what I would use here is eggplant. But today, because I had a bunch of mushrooms in the back and because we're closing, I wanted to use up what we have a lot of. Oh, X marks the spot. I don't know what that's for, but whatever. It's permanent, doesn't wash off. We had a bunch of mushrooms that we had prepared for one of our marinated mushroom dishes, which is just raw mushrooms that we marinate with lemon juice and vinegar and onion and parsley and garlic. So I figured I'd reuse some of those. So this is really a technical way to put your mushrooms in a pot, your fingers. That's gonna be our meaty filling. Like I think I just mentioned, I usually would use eggplant as a spicy eggplant filling, but today we're gonna use mushrooms. So I didn't add any oil to this, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss in a tiny bit of that sesame oil. So that's gonna impart a really yummy flavor, and it's also gonna give us the fat for the frying. Thank you, Kenneth. Hi, Scotty. It's just us around here. Oh, that smells good already, doesn't it, Kenneth? Okay, so then I'm gonna add in. What's that?
Sandy food, triple X.
Triple X. I'm not gonna make any sexual dirty jokes today. I say, story of my life. Okay, I'm adding in some soy sauce because I didn't bring in any salt, so this is gonna be our salt component. Smells really good. Sesame oil and soy sauce, those two together, so good. Oops. And I do want this to be spicy as well, so I'm gonna add in a bit more of that sriracha. Sriracha. And that's all I'm gonna do. Danger, danger, breathing in hot sauce on the flame. Danger. Don't recommend it. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. Look at that. Doesn't that smell phenomenal? It smells really, really good. So ideally we want this to cool, but concrete now, helpful. What I have happening down here is in my refrigerator, I have a bowl that is cold. It's been in the fridge all day. So that's gonna just help cool this off real quick, because you don't wanna be putting, sushi is obviously not hot. We don't want to be you're not using cooked fish for the most part. So I'm gonna just let that work its way cool in there. Give my rasp a big rinse, because as you know, if you watch the videos, you know that I don't like scrubbing. I give my rasp a rinse before I have the garlic and ginger have a chance to dry on there. It's a little bit easier. So while we're letting this cool off, the one thing that I'm not a sushi expert because I don't eat fish. Well, I do sometimes. I don't like it. I've never really been a fan of fish. So when I was getting ready to do this Facebook Live, I thought maybe I should brush up on my lingo, because there are very different types of sushi out there. Sashimi, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of schooling if you're not familiar. Sashimi is an assortment of raw fish and is generally an assortment picked by the sushi chef, so it probably changes on a daily basis. Nigiri is a hand-formed ball of rice with a slice of fish over the top. We're gonna make some of that today. Maki is a type of roll in which the seaweed wrap is on the outside of the roll. So you got your nori on the outside and then you got rice in the filling on the inside. We're gonna make that as well today. Sushi rolls is when the rice is rolled on the outside and the seaweed is rolled on the inside. We're not gonna make that today because I don't do sushi rolls. I actually typically only do maki. Then there's another one, I can't remember the name, that is like a hand roll. I think they call it a hand roll. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where it's like you make a kind of like a cone shape with the nori, and then you've got your stuff inside that way. I think that's called a hand roll. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Beautiful blouse. Oh, this is all comments I've already read. Juan Diego Sands is watching. Sandy says, "Why are you so bald?" Because it's really hot here. I have many different reasons for why I shave my head. Main one being is I've been doing it for 5 years and I just prefer myself without any hair. It makes life so much easier. Ashley, yes, we are closing just for 5 days. We're taking a little break. We're taking a little break. Oh my God, you guys are making puns about how great of a person I am. G-R-A-T-E. You guys have my heart. Great, you get it, Kenneth? Great, like reada, and great is spelled G. It's so funny. You guys are so funny. So funny. Okay, shall we get back to the recipes? So now we have two
sushi fillings.
Did you guys ever watch Count Dracula? Was it Sesame Street? Count Dracula who used to count like that?
I see three little boys.
You know that one, Kenneth? Okay, so the third filling, what is that? What is that? Watermelon tuna, my friends. What? This is seedless watermelon that I marinated in a really simple marinade of olive oil and soy sauce, and baked it, slow baked it. Typically you bake it super slow for like 2 hours so that the watermelon can really intensify in flavor and dehydrate. You could do it in the dehydrator as well, but I did it really quick in our oven with some special settings to get it real quick, so I did it in about half an hour. But it's watermelon with soy sauce and olive oil. That's it. But look at it. Doesn't it look like tuna? Like, look at the texture. It looks like raw fish. So fun. So I'm just gonna slice it so I can show you what it looks like inside. Oh my God, doesn't that look like tuna? Right, Kenneth? So crazy. So fun. What is the recipe that I wrote down earlier? Let me tell you what's in it. So easy. And obviously because of the nature of this Facebook Live being live, I couldn't do the oven baking. I'm not following my recipes at all. I was gonna use eggplant, I'm not. Watermelon sashimi. So it was just, I just put watermelon, olive oil, soy sauce. That's it. That's it. And then slow bake. Oh my God, it's so much fun. And I think I've talked a bit about the dehydrated watermelon that we do here at Rythmia, and a lot of people ask me about that. And I have in the past marinated my watermelon in soy sauce with some liquid smoke and then dehydrated it, and it kind of becomes like a bit of a jerky. It looks like this in color, and then as it's dehydrating, it's kind of leathery like jerky. So good. But we did this in the oven today. But this, I mean, this is gonna fool the eyes definitely more than it's gonna fool the taste buds, let's be honest. It's gonna taste like salty watermelon. Okay, so let's talk about couple of the other super important components when it comes to making sushi, whether you're talking vegan or regular. Rice. So I've got here some actual sushi rice. So it's sticky because of the way I made it, but it's also because it's sushi rice. It's specifically meant for this purpose, AKA, not AKA, that's a poor use of that. Hence, why it's called sushi rice. But all I did here, there's tons of different ways that you can read and learn about cooking sushi, but for me, I just cook it like regular rice, like 1 part rice to 1 part water. Put it on the stove in a pot, uncovered, and when it starts to boil, cover it, let it cook for like 20 minutes till all the water is absorbed. Then I stir in, for this amount of rice, which I think was about 1.5 cups of rice to start with, uncooked rice. I added in about 1/4 cup of, after it was all cooked and everything, I poured in 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, stirred that in when it was still hot, and then laid it out flat on a baking sheet, all separated out real nice so that it could cool. And not only is it the starch from the rice that are naturally occurring, but the stickiness from the sweetness and the sugars that are left in the rice vinegar that help make it nice and sticky and delicious. It's seasoned as well. So that's our sushi rice. You could also use your regular old like long grain or brown rice. If you're gonna use this for sushi, I would stir in something to help make it stick together, because you can see this is very individual grain. It's not gonna hold well together inside your sushi. I would stir in maybe honey or liquid sweetener that would add act as a bit of a glue. Or if you're looking for more protein, you could stir in some nuts and also give it a bit of a more sticky consistency. But today we're going to use the actual sushi rice because we have it. Another super important ingredient when you're talking about sushi is wasabi. So I just bought this at the grocery store. You buy it in the tube typically. It's the easiest way to do it. I've really just fallen in love with wasabi recently. I've been going out to a local sushi place a little bit more often and enjoying the vegan sushis there, and always with the wasabi. So that is the wasabi paste. Que rico. And then we have our soy sauce. So we have these beautiful little server cups. And then the other thing that always goes with your sushi is pickled ginger. So this is also, I just picked this up at the grocery store. Just some beautiful pink pickled ginger. So these are a few of our delicious components that I wanted to talk about. If you're not a fan of sushi, All of this stuff you can find if you want to experiment with it in your Asian aisle at your local grocers. If I can find them here in Costa Rica, I'm sure you could find them wherever you're watching from. Or in an Asian grocery, even better. So, shall we make some rolls? Watermelon tuna. You got that right, kids. We are thinking outside the box a little bit today. So, okay, two other important things. Well, three other components. Probably one of the most important when it comes to making sushi is the nori, right? So this is toasted nori sheets. You can use raw, not toasted if you want to be 100% raw, but I like the taste of the toasted. So we've got those handy. And then a couple of other things that I like to have handy. Chopsticks. So we have wooden chopsticks here that'll be great for serving and obviously traditional in service. And I like to use, because it's helpful, especially when you're first starting out, a bamboo sushi rolling mat. So this you can buy for a couple of dollars also in your Asian food aisle. Typically you can find this right next to chopsticks, right next to the nori, right next to the soy sauce, right next to the pickled ginger, the wasabi, all in one stop shop in the grocery store. So if you're wanting to try this at home, I would pick up all this beautiful, helpful stuff. And the one thing that I like to do is sushi rolls, especially of the vegan persuasion, are quite good for a substitute for a salad. If you're doing like an Asian-inspired main dish, like a teriyaki chicken and rice dish, for example, and having a dinner party, or just for your family and celebrating life and food in general, doing little vegan sushi rolls as the salad starter plate is a really great idea. You don't need to be having any sort of other real reason to enjoy an Asian theme. So let's start with a sushi roll, shall we? So we've got our nori, and I'm just gonna lie it down here, and I don't know the real rules about what direction you should lie your sheet. You can see that there's some, I don't know if you can, does that translate on the phone? Can you see these lines, these horizontal lines? Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like...
This, the other side,
No, this side. Can you see them?
like this. Not this one. The flat one is for the
outside. Yeah. The lines, I always do it so my lines are horizontal with me. Perfect. So you lie it right on your bamboo sushi mat. And sometimes your sushi mat will have, like mine for example, has a really soft and silky side of the bamboo and a more woody one. So I'm gonna do the soft and silky up because it will clean better. And then I lie my sushi. Next ingredient is our rice. Look at that, it's beautiful sticky rice. Sticky. And if you're just starting out, I will advise don't pack your sushi rolls too full of all the ingredients because it'll be a pain in the butt when it comes time to roll. So I'm just being really willy-nilly about this. And you guys know that I am all about rusticness when it comes to food preparation. So we're not gonna be too particular. Dun, dun, dun. I've got, look at rice sticking to me everywhere. So this is all we're gonna do for that. Let's do spicy tomato tuna, shall we? Ah! So sticky! It's so sticky! I can't get it off my hands. All right, so I'm gonna take a tiny bit of my tomato sushi and I'm just kind of draining off a bit of the excess marinade. Lie that down the middle. Doesn't that look like tuna? Come on. Trickery. Levi, if you're still watching, I'm going to trick you with this sometime. I don't know if it'll be a trick now that you've seen. Look at that. God, that looks like tuna, doesn't it? Brilliant. Okay, and then we have all of these other beautiful ingredients over here. So let's add, for the color component, we'll add in some carrot. So pretty. A little bit of purple cabbage. That's pretty. Some sweet peppers. If I had avocado, I didn't have any good ripe avocados, I would put avocado in here for sure. And then some sprouts. So good. And I think I've done sushi in the past where I always like to have a bit of these sprouts coming out one end because they look really pretty. Okay, so there's our sushi. And then what I like to do is I'll start rolling at this end. And as I start to roll, I'm going to kind of just, naturally, holding with my index and my thumb, my fingers naturally want to come up and just start to hold the ingredients in. I find that it's easiest to start without the bamboo roller mat. Start your roll. And as you get your first bit of nori wrapped around your ingredients, then you can kind of tuck your bamboo mat up and over. tucking your ingredients in. The bamboo mat comes up and around. And then the reason we have the bamboo mat is this is what helps us tighten things up. So you hold on to the bottom of your mat and you just kind of see how that works? You see how that translates here, kids? So the bamboo mat is letting me press it all together without getting too into tearing my, look at that, beautiful. Then I can wrap that around. And then as I've gotten around that far, then I like to add in, put some water here, and this is what's gonna help the roll all stick together. And then continue my roll, a bada boom. A little bit more water outside my, that's a big sushi roll. There's a lot of stuff inside. Made a little bit of a mess, that's okay. Because we're outside. It's the beauty of having an outdoor kitchen. Beautiful. So then I'm just gonna dry this off for my next wrap. Before I do that, I'm gonna plate this bad boy up. So if you're gonna cut sushi, I always recommend using a sharp knife. You can get special Asian style knives that have beautiful little indents along here that are made specifically for cutting things like sushi to avoid the stick factor. But if you have a nice sharp blade, and then the other tip is whenever you're cutting sushi, I like to use this part of the blade, like right up by the butt here, because typically when we're chopping, we're using this end of the blade a lot more, so it tends to get duller a lot sooner than this end does. So this end is typically for all of us a little bit sharper, so I like to use that knife. And seam down. So this was the seam where the seam was from when I rolled it. I'm gonna put the seam down. That's just gonna help keep it together. And then you just slice this bad boy into as many slices as you want. Keeping in mind that sushi is a one-bite dish, so you don't wanna go too massive because you gotta remember you're gonna get the whole thing in your mouth because it's not something that you can really take a bite off of. Now that, I didn't really drain off enough of the marinade from the tomato, so it's a little bit juicy. That's okay. Oop, we've lost a couple of soldiers, but that's fine. These beautiful Nicaraguan surfboard tablas that Kenneth brought for us from serving the sushi. Oops. I'm gonna place those on here. So good. So pretty. Tuna in the house. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it's gonna taste delicious. Perfect. And then put a little bit of our soy sauce, a little bit of our ginger here, like so, and a little bit of our wasabi. Not bad, right? Dun 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 dun. Part of Kenneth's lunch complete. Beautiful. Hand that over there. Okay, so for the next version, let's see what everyone's saying here. Oops, I lost the comments again. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. Jack's saying nice. I wasn't sure if he was giving us some tips about what side of the sushi paper to use. Chris is watching. Levi says I don't think so. I know, it does look like tuna. Keyword look. Doesn't taste. Not gonna lie. Let's be real. Move that out of the way. So let's move on to the next version, which I'm gonna do, what did I call it? Nigiri? Nigiri. So that just means take rice, like literally just with your hand. Should have wet my hand first. Anytime you're forming anything with your hands, wetting your hands, super helpful. This is gonna be really fancy. Da, 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 da. There we go. Rice formed into a log. Then take one of our beautiful pieces. Come on. It looks like sushi! That's so ridiculous though, right? But it looks like sushi. Okay. So we put this on. Come on. Then take a couple of pieces of green onion. Right? you think?
Beautiful.
Another option is, you can add in another flavor component. Put some nori underneath. And that's going to give you that taste of the sea. Come on. Doesn't that look like, what do they call it?
Nigiri.
Spoken like a real not sushi eater. Okay, so let's put this over with our other one. Come on. Come on! Okay. Should I do another one of those? Maybe I should, because this is your lunch, right, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
We'll make another rice log. So fun, right? It's a little bit sloppy, as is how I cook. Dun, 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 dun. So fun. Okay. Grab another one of our pieces of nori. Drop that on there. This is so ridiculous. The texture of this is like, it feels like, I mean, I don't handle a lot of raw fish, but it feels like, it must be the way that raw fish feels. A little bit of green onion. A little bit of sesame. Bam! A la emerald. Bam! Look at that. So fun. Okay, so one more sushi. We have that mushroom filler that we gotta use, right guys? Let me just get my station back from its chaos. Bamboo mat. And I'm gonna put the recipes for all of this stuff in the comments as per usual. Sushi roll down. Rice. I'm gonna try not to go so huge with this one. Rice is nice. So the non-fish component of this one is going to be the meaty mushrooms that we just made up in the frying pan. So they should be cool enough. So I'm gonna grab some of those. So good. You getting hungry, Kenneth?
Very hungry.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, this would be pretty tasty right here, just rolling it up with the rice and the mushrooms, right? But we're gonna do a little bit extra here. What I've got here is, oh, this is what I wanted to do actually. I wanted to lye some of this, but I'll do that on top because that will look pretty. I'm gonna add in a bit of mango, so we have like that sweet and savory thing going on with this one. And like I said, I like to sometimes have a little extra hanging off the ends because it just looks really pretty. So a little bit of mango. Decisions. Maybe some more carrot. It's really fine and it just adds a nice pop of color. Maybe a bit of purple cabbage again because that's nice. What it is missing is red. Should we put some tuna inside, Kenneth?
There you go.
Might as well. A couple slices of tuna down there. I said I wasn't going to fill this one so full, but here we are, filling her up. And this is also going to lend that nice soy flavor throughout. And then these will just be a nice bit of green. These are just some organic leaf lettuce and some organic baby kale that I'm adding in there. And that's gonna help contain the vegetables when I go to wrap it. So mentally prepare for that. I'm gonna have a little sip of coconut water. Okay, ready? Are we ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
There we go.
You know that song from like Dance Mix 95?
You ready
Sing
for
with
this
me.
banana?
Kenneth and I are literally the only ones here right now, other than you can hear there's a maintenance guy over the fence here spraying down some stuff. We're just entertaining ourselves. You know what? I'm gonna need to call that song up, I think, and we need to do a little dance party to it after we're done with our Facebook Live. Look at this! So there we go. We got that nice. I'm gonna just give it one more little tighten here. Oops, I tore my nori. That's what he said. What? What does that even mean? I don't know. A little bit of water. Look at that. Glue, glue, glue. Roll, roll, roll. It's so humid, we almost don't even need the water. It's so humid here right now. Okay, seam down. Sharp knife. Fingers crossed. Beautiful. Yeah, that looks good. Could have gone tighter with this one, not gonna lie. I slacked. It's gonna fall apart. Beauty of it is though, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's gonna taste delicious. Right, Kenneth?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty. Look at that. See, and this is, I like my sushi rolls with a lot more of the veggie filling and a little bit less of the actual rice. How pretty is that? Right? Ain't no thing. This one's a little bit too ugly. Not so bad if I put it like that. Dun, da, da, da. And that's all she wrote, kids. How what do you think? Good? We learned lots? We played, we had fun. We made vegan sushi. All in all, a successful Sunday afternoon, if I do say so myself. Let's see, anything of pertinence? Candace Marie Fox is watching. Can't wait to make the vegan sushi. Good, I want you guys to make the vegan sushi. Yes, Andrea, we made spicy tuna out of tomatoes. I will put the recipe in the comments. You can all try it at home. But that's all I wrote. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. I'm going on a holiday. Da, 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 da. But I will be live here next Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday you leave to Canada.
Okay, that's why I'm saying. I'm like, why am I saying next Tuesday? Tuesday I'm leaving for Canada.
Yeah.
Clearly I need a vacation. I'm going to recharge my batteries, fix my brain, because it's fried. Next Saturday, I believe I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live, but for sure I'll be doing a live on Sunday, 2 p.m. Costa Rica time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. So for all of you folks that will be watching in Canada, alongside where I will be, I'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday. Not sure what the topic's going to be. I will let you know by Wednesday. I'm sure if you're on the Rythmia email list, you get an email notification from us every week about the content that we're going to be talking about each week. But until then, happy Sunday. Happy December. December 2nd already. Where does the time go? And again, as always, if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you might want to see in upcoming Facebooks, shoot me a message. I'm looking for ideas. Mind you, maybe I should throw this one out there. Dr. Jeff and I were just sitting here this morning talking, and I just dropped the idea about maybe in the month of January doing a black box challenge.
Yes.
And like, as in, Kenneth and the Malibu team know what ingredients I'm using. Like maybe I assign like Kenneth or someone else to pick the ingredients. And for every Facebook Live in January, literally you guys join me and I have a black box of ingredients. And then I have to run into the kitchen, get the rest of the stuff I want to cook, and then cook live. I don't know. I'll have to see how that works logistically, but I think it would be fun. And everybody knows about all of these cooking shows where they have the black box challenge, where it's this, if you're not familiar, essentially the contestants on the show are given a box full of ingredients that they don't know what it is until the competition starts, and then they have to just on the spot think of a recipe. So that might be fun. So Kenneth and I will get together and we'll think about how that might work logistically in the new year. But up until the holidays, I'll probably be doing a bit more holiday-themed stuff. Next Sunday, I'll be in Canada, so it's going to depend on what I have available, where I'll be logistically at that point. But until then, look forward to seeing you, and have yourself a beautiful week. Love you.
Love you all. Love you, Rachel.